What's going on, everyone? Happy Thursday. I'm Ryan Ripken. Oh, goodness. I'll be honest. My brain's mushed, and that's okay. I'm sure all of you guys have your feelings, a lot of angry feelings and frustrations if you're an Orioles fan. Believe me, I've heard them. I've seen them. But it's okay because it's Thursday. It's almost Friday. We have a lot of good topics to discuss, not just Orioles related. So if you're frustrated with the Orioles, well, guess what? There's a lot of other fans frustrated with their teams. You can ask the Mets. We'll get into that debacle later on. And then there's drama between the Dodgers, rushing, Ohtani. And it felt like it was one thing after another. And we'll explain that whole sequence because there was a lot there. Then after we're going through this whole, cleanse of the last 24 hours, well, guess what? There's storylines that people are looking towards the future at. Ken Rosenthal put out an article about where certain general managers or head of operations could be as we move ahead into the later part of the year and as we are down the final stretch of the MLB season. Because here's the other crazy part. We are over the halfway mark of the baseball season. And just in a few months, there will be postseason ball. But does that mean the team in Baltimore will be a part of it? Will these other teams a part of it that are on that list? Stay tuned. You might have a guess on a couple of the names on there. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. I think he's somewhere behind the scenes. He's not here, but he's somewhere behind. Oh, there he is. Nice hat today, Bolly.
I'm switching up the vibes. We got to switch up the vibes. It's Thursday. It's an off day. Vibes have to be switched, especially after how yesterday ended.
Dude, Zach, is that a Swallow at the Hollow hat?
Hell yeah, it's a Swallow.
Dude, I was there yesterday. No way. I love that place. Right next to my house.
I play for their softball team.
They have a softball team?
Yes, I was one of the people who created it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I love Swallow at the Hollow, dude. We walk over there all the time.
Yeah.
There's intern Nate, by the way.
How we doing? Good to be back.
I feel like we also maybe change your camera angle.
Yeah, I'm going to do that right now.
Yeah, no, I moved it over because I was doing something earlier with our friends over at CQ and trying to change the angle, but then also there's a little bit of a height differentiation between Nate and me and Zach. Zach and I are definitely on the shorter scale.
Yeah, I'm the tallest one here, so I mean, I'm obviously the camera's not angled for me correctly since Zach's usually sitting over here.
Do you want to move over to get the Deep Eddy vodka in? Like,
yeah.
You went the other way. See what I mean? It's okay. You can keep moving. We're gonna get there. This is kind of what we're talking about. There's a lot of different mixed emotions, feelings, and different heights. Did we fix it? Nope, he's still working on it. Well, hey, Bolly, we do need to switch up the vibes. Oh, that's something. This is interesting. Also, Zach, I don't know if you've met Sam. Sam's in here. He'll make a debut eventually. There he is. There he is.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. You can unmute Sam.
There we go.
Sam, you're on the camera.
What's up? Somewhere, yeah. There we go.
See, he
I had to make
found
my
the camera
debut
a
at
lot
some
better.
point, yeah.
Well, yeah, everyone's getting used to it. We need a little bit more hands on deck because Bolly's out in the wild. And so, Zach, while we're teaching the kids of what's going on, we do have to talk about a lot of things today. And I mean a lot. And that hat.
That's why it gets the people going. It gets the people going, but yeah, we have a lot to talk about.
Will that get the Orioles going?
I don't know if what could. Every time we think something's going to.
Okay. We're going to rip the Band-Aid off here in about 10 seconds. But before we do that, we appreciate all of you and Zach.
We appreciate CQ.
And our friends over at CQ. Look, don't let the high gas prices ruin your summer. I know it stinks. We get it in this economy. That's just how it goes. But with our friends over at CQ, they have an opportunity for you, for CQ members and for CQ credit card members, that you can actually be able to go and save when you hit the pumps this summer. That's right. You can use select CQ Visa credit cards to save up to 50 cents off per gallon on your next tank of gas, and that's up to 20 gallons. Just redeem your You Choose reward points directly when paying at the pump at participating gas stations. And if you want to see more details, go to cqmd.org/credit cards for more information. Always terms apply and subject to credit approval. But CQ, proud sponsor of the Ryan Ripken Show. And Zach, here it is. Let's rip it off. Each day that you watch baseball, the phrase is you'll learn something or you'll see something that you haven't seen happen before. And I've seen maybe the sequence of plays that happened last night in the finale with the Orioles and Angels. I've seen those plays over time, but seeing it, how it happened and how that ended the game, for those that didn't see the game, 6-5 Orioles in the bottom of the 10th, 2 strikes. You are, or 2 outs. You're 1 pitch away from this being done. Tying run on third base. Keegan Aiken induces a ground ball, and you're going, this is it, until you realize no one's at first base. Keegan's trying to get there. Pete Alonso can't get there because took a step trying to go get that baseball. That was to Jeremiah Jackson. Ball ends up getting deflected, goes to the outfield. So then you think, all right, we still got a chance. Next batter, 2 strikes on the hitter. Check swing. That's a perfectly placed like bunt, swinging bunt. Sammy Basayo decides not to try to make the play at first, which I don't know if he even gets the guy there. Can't make the tag. And what went from the Orioles winning the series and coming back to Baltimore with a winning record on this road trip, they found another way to lose, Zach, which you I think tweeted out or was messaging our group, worst loss of the year.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we've had to say that 4 or 5 times this year. And that's the frustrating aspect. It's one thing to just lose. It's other things when you look at where the Orioles stand, when you look at, okay, 6 games under 500, it's even more frustrating when it feels like you can count almost 7 or 8 games where not only like if this would have went their way, they could have won. Genuine, it's over. And they still lost. I mean, we've had bases loaded, no outs with the winning run on third with Gunner 2, 3, 4 coming up, and they can't get the run in. Game advances, they lose to Seattle. You have the game against the Dodgers. You have that game. It's a 2-run game going into the 9th inning. You have it there. Missed plays, all of a sudden, worst case, it should be tied. Bad throw home, bad effort to stop it. Suddenly, that's a loss. This game, you got that's the thing. And I love Samuel Basayo, how real he kept it post game. They asked him about the play and he said it was an instinct just to go for the tag. And he said, yeah, I maybe made the wrong play there. But I love that he pointed out, he goes, but we should have never gotten to that point. It should have never come to that point. You can even say oh yeah, the play before. They shouldn't have blown a 3-run lead in the 8th. Because Ryan, once again, what was it? Did they get those runs? Did they manufacture them with no outs? No. It was 2 outs. Every single time they were 1 pitch away from getting out of it with a 3-run lead going to the 9th. And then Ryan Helsley comes in and looks the best he has probably since before his injury. Lights out. And I've seen all this Keegan Aiken stuff about oh my God, Keegan Aiken. I don't know what Keegan Aiken, if you want to say he needs to make a better play at the ball to make, maybe second baseman not used to throwing the pitcher at first. There's those ticky-tack, but Keegan Aiken pitched exactly how he needed. Pitching the ball, he got a strikeout to start, a fly out, and they got 2 weak ground balls. Both should have ended the game, and they lost because of it. And we can talk about the bullpen. There's just so many things, but it's frustrating because the Orioles aren't just losing. They're losing in ways that make you go, is this a joke? Is this a prank? There's no way you just lost in that fashion.
There's a movie that you won't see. You have seen Anchorman, and I was thinking about Ron Burgundy writes down, Veronica had a very funny joke today. Mm-hmm. I laughed at it later that night, and Veronica's obviously, you haven't seen Anchorman, you don't have no idea what I'm talking about, but Veronica's dead serious, and Ron Burgundy's I think it's a joke because it was funny to him. In this case, that's the comedy of this situation, but it's not comedy. It is super frustrating as hell But it's hard to believe that it continues to happen. And so there's a lot of different ways. So I broke down the play yesterday real quickly, Zach, of the play at first. Because I want to start with that, and I'll get into all your points about it shouldn't have gotten to this. So number one, that ball, if you go and look at where Pete Alonso is and you look at where Jeremiah Jackson is, right here with the video that you can see, Pete is playing a little bit more over probably than he would on a normal left-handed situation. Typically, for a lefty, you might hug the line a little bit depending on their tendencies. But later in the game, you're saying, I'm not worried about giving up the ball down the line. I want to try to take up the main part of the infield or the bigger part of the infield because odds will say that's where it's going to go, which I'm completely fine with that. Now, the problem is, though, when you're playing more over as a first baseman and a guy that played a lot of first base in his life, I completely get what Pete did. And what happened was Pete takes a step, and as he goes, oh, shit, I can't get there. Jeremiah's got it. And then he goes, oh, shit, I don't think I can get back to the bag. And so when that happened, and you could see it right there, when that happens now, it really feels like Keegan's the only one that can get there. And first things first, when you're shifted over for all infielders or all people that are playing, your job is to know where your teammates are. And I've been in Pete's situation where you have the instinct or the feeling that you go and then you got to try to fight it. But in this case specifically, you got to know anything to your right where Jeremiah is, he's got to make that play. That's his ball. And so you got to tell yourself, I got to trust that my teammate's going to make it because I got to go. And Pete said after he thought the ball was hit harder than it was too. And it was hit very softly. But Pete's not there. And then Keegan's in this bad position because not only is Keegan Aiken not the fastest of guys, love you, Keegan, you ain't built for speed, but Keegan is falling over to the right side of the mound. So Keegan actually does a pretty good job of spinning really quickly, but here's the problem. It's a lefty hitter, so he's going to have a pretty good step on this. And on top of it, then there's Jeremiah Jackson going, I don't know who's actually getting to this bag. Is it going to be Pete Alonso? I'll play it. Is it going to be Pete? Is it going to be Keegan? Well, let me just underhand toss this from a longer distance away and hope that someone can make a play. And that's what he did. And Keegan almost made the play. He was worried about running into Pete. And whammy, ball kicks away. And you're seeing this, the bad news bears. And to me, that's hard. Because that is a routine play. That should be done. The game should be over. And then we saw the next play. I'm not even upset with Sammy on that one, Zach, because it's a check swing, do or die. Yeah, you might say, hey, screw it. I got to go to first base because this is an impossible tag to be made. But I think the runner's going to be safe. Like, I don't think that there's any really – I'm glad Sammy's trying to say, hey, I'll take accountability. No, that's a hard play to make for a catcher in that circumstance where the ball was. And, again, with the lefty pitcher that's falling off the mound, Zach, that's where it's even more important in Pete's case. And part of it's communication, where even Jeremiah, if it's early on, he could have yelled, hey, I got it. But still – that's more on Pete, unfortunately, of just knowing where Jeremiah is. And then when you're like, all right, I got to trust him, I got to bust my ass because you always want your first baseman to handle that ball, not your lefty pitcher falling off that's got to try to make a play here. And the only thing I'll say to Keegan, which if we're nitpicking, and I don't think it's even so much, is maybe Keegan tries to beeline it and he yells, I got it, to tell Pete, back off, it's going to be me. It's only going to be me if we make this play. But he didn't. Keegan had doubts. Ball gets away. And that's just nitpicking the most. But, Zach, back to the point, because you said about the 2-out RBIs. You know how I feel about this. How many 2-out RBIs were in the game yesterday for the Angels? Do you know?
I don't. Let me look.
I'll tell you right now, 6.
4? Oh, it was all 6. Nice. Awesome.
6. What was the final score?
7-6, right? No, so
That is correct. 7-6. The Orioles had 1 2-out RBI, by the way. It was Pete Alonso. In extra innings, I believe.
It was
Pete
right
Alonso.
before. It was the inning before.
So with it here, Sam's right. The Orioles are right. You had opportunities before this happened where you had 2-out chances to make a play, make a pitch, and you didn't. First inning, Trey Gibson, I thought, settled in. I thought he pitched really well after the first. Infield hit, then bomb. Down 2-0. The situation, these are the money situations. Runners in scoring position, 2-out RBIs. You win that battle, specifically 2-out RBIs. You win the 2-out RBI battle, I got to see the record's probably got to be at a 65% win clip at minimum, Zach. Like I'm so bullish on that. But you do got to move on. It is what it is. It's over. But the thing that sucks is a lot of people in Baltimore are feeling way different. If the Orioles win that game, they're saying, all right, wow, what a road trip. We survived it, but we're right there. But you sandwich 2 games in this trip. The Dodgers' first game and the final one, maybe it's fitting that the bookends of your LA trip were 2 ways that you're going to sit there and go, damn, how do we let those 2 get away from us?
Yeah. And I mean, it's also comes with opportunity. And we can sit here and it's the same thing we've been repeating. Pete gets the 2-out RBI. They take the lead there once again. But first inning, Jorge Soler gets the 2-run homer after Trey Gibson gets a ground ball to Gunnar Henderson that I'm sure this is going to go back and be ruled an error. This is a weak grounder to your shortstop, and it's got to be made. That play has got to be made. I don't know what, just took too long, bad throw, combine it all, runner gets safe. It goes on as 2 earned runs right now. It shouldn't be. And that was kind of this theme. It was poor defense. It was giving the Angels more opportunity. And then at the end of it, I mean, you need if this team is going to make any sort of competitive run, you need your main guys to step up. And it feels like we sit here and we talk about this same situation too many times. But once again, in extra innings, Taylor Ward gets a single. You have men on first and third, no outs with the go-ahead run, and Gunnar Henderson up, and he can't get the run in. Not only that, I'll give it to him. Pitcher made a hell of a play on that, toss to the catcher to get Blaze out. Tip your cap to that. You need Gunnar to get that run in. Gunnar, it's too many times Gunnar has been up in the situation where you need him, not even just to get a big hit. Put the ball in the outfield. Get something. At that point, hit into a double play, because now you went from first and third no outs to first and second 1 out, a double plays out of the inning. So it just feels like the situational hitting on this team once again has failed, because we've seen time and time again. Like I said, Seattle game, this was at home when they blew that one game where it's like Gunnar's up, bases, guy on second and thirds, third and first, 1 out, no outs. Gunnar can't get him in. And it's like, it's the frustrations. It's like they need these guys, their main players, to be able to win these games. Samuel Basallo, two-run homers yesterday. After the game took accountability, he is the last person on this team that should have any sort of accountability in a loss after yesterday. He was the reason that they were in it. And so it's the frustration. Pete Alonso came through in extras. Taylor Ward came through in extras. It's the guy. They need Gunnar to step up defensively, offensively. And it felt like another game where you can almost see Gunnar makes those mistakes early and it carries over to the batting portion, or he makes mistakes at the plate and it carries over to the field. And it's not just Gunnar. It feels like a whole team thing where once they make a mistake, especially early, you can almost tell, oh, this is going to be a bad defensive game, because now everyone's trying. I mean, Blaze Alexander, who we've been loathing about being like, hey, that's your almost defensive wizard. Anywhere you put him, he's going to find a way to make the play. He was making errors. It just feels like this is a team where when it rains, defensively it pours. As soon as one guy makes a mistake, it's not hey, that happened. We're past it. Now everyone's on edge. Everyone's rushing a little bit. And it ends up costing them the game.
Yeah, the other part here, Zach, 3 errors, 7 walks.
Yeah.
Yesterday. So when you're looking at all this, it's not rocket science when it comes to baseball at times. It's the game is so damn hard, but the answer is simple. Whoever executes better wins the game. Like, that's just it. It's in every sport, but in baseball, it's simple. And then if you want to look at what are the situational moments that you speak of, like 2 outs, do you win the battle? Yes or no? Do you execute when you have to get a bunt down? Do you execute with runners in scoring position? All goes down to execution. It's as simple as that. I did want to touch because it was brought up on the fan earlier. Gibson getting pulled early. I know the reasoning was saying Albie was saying we got a fresh bullpen, we got the day off. I didn't really like the move at all, Bali.
No.
Mainly for this. You know, I get the reasoning of this, but this is the problem when you want to pull a starter early when you don't have to. Is when you pull a starter early and you're hoping that your bullpen then does what it's supposed to do. So Grant Wolfram, Tyler Wells, hey, you look great. Awesome. Oh, great. Cano, great. But when somebody then gets roughed up or you have some trouble, now you're putting stress on a bullpen and the game still has to be prolonged. And that, unfortunately, Rico Garcia was in that situation where he gets in trouble. Then they tie the game, the Angels do. Then Kittredge has to throw. Then Helsley has to throw. Then Keegan Aiken has to throw. Zach, they had 7 bullpen arms throw. And so it goes back to pulling a starter after 66 pitches where, quite frankly, Gibson gave up 1 hit and the 2 walks after the first. So the next 3 innings, he was pretty good. He looked good. He looked comfortable, and you're playing with a lead. And the last thing with this is, how different does this sound for a second, Zach?
Yeah.
You're a rookie. You're trying to build confidence.
Mm-hmm.
This case right now, hey, Trey, good job. You're done. You sit there and you're done through 4. And you know what that means? You get a no decision. You're winning, but you're not going to be involved in this. So you feel, all right, I think I'd help my team. I guess. I feel like I could have gone out there. Now let's go down to option 2. Option 2 is, hey, Trey, you're going to go back out there and say he gets through 5. And after that, you said, Trey, hell of a job, man. You're done. And say the Orioles are still winning 5-2, hell, 5-3. What's Trey thinking? All right, I did my job.
Yeah.
The Orioles won. And then here's the other part. The bullpen then shrinks the amount of innings that they have to cover. And so that was my part. When you don't have to pull a starter, I don't want to pull a starter. Specifically, a young pitcher that you're building up his confidence with. So I thought that was a little bit premature. Things were going your direction. If Trey goes out in the 5th and gives up a base runner or 2, by all means, get the bullpen going or make a move. But, yeah, I think that was way too premature for so many different reasons. There's a way to keep a guy in too long, and there's certainly a way when you take a guy out too early. And this game is so mental. I liked what Trey did. I would have loved the fact that he would have gotten a win. I think he did really well on this road trip, Zach, overall. So, especially what was happening out in L.A., dude got off to the rough start and then finished with 5 innings, 3 earned runs, and gave the Orioles a chance to win that game.
Yeah.
1 inning makes all the difference.
Yeah, and I mean, we talk about when you get into these situations, like said this on the post-game show, if I would have gotten this more, the decision to take Trey out more, if the next step would have been, okay, Albert Suarez, who obviously got overused the day before, you knew he wasn't after going 3 innings. You knew he wasn't going to pitch today. Tyler Wells, I would have rather gone to him. If they would have had, Suarez available, had Wells available for a little longer, and you pull Trey at 4 and you go, hey, he's at 65 at that point. If he was at 70 and you're like, hey, we're going to Wellesley or we're going to Suarez for the next 3 to get us to 7. Then we're going to our high leverage guys because we want to win this game. That's one thing. It felt like they were using pitchers to use pitchers. And you bring in Wolfram. He gets the first 2 outs. He gets a ground ball that should have gotten it out of the inning. Gunnar makes another error, and that screws it up even more because now Wells has to come in that inning. So now he has already 1 up down. He's already going out there. He's gotten that final out. He has to sit down and now go out for a second inning. If he doesn't have to get that 1 out, and he doesn't have to go sit down and then get going again, he can just stay in the bullpen and just prepare for next. He might go 2 innings after that. But you already wasted, okay, well, now he had to go get that final out. That's the equivalent, doesn't matter how many times you threw, that's sitting down and getting back up. That's tough on a pitcher's arm. That is a part of the process. So it was little things like that where then all of a sudden it puts you behind the 8 ball. Yenier Cano then comes in, gets 2/3 or pitches 2/3 of an inning, gets the 2 walks. So Rico has to come in. Then we shouldn't be having games when you're up 5-2 going into the 5th inning where Wolfram pitched 2/3 of an inning, Cano 2/3 of an inning, Kittredge 1/3 of an inning. I mean, that is 3 pitchers to cover an inning and 2/3 in a game you're up 5-2. And it almost felt like they were, I joked about this last night. I was like, do they not know the score? Like it almost felt like they thought they were up more. And because I was like, you haven't used your bullpen pretty much at all this series. You have an off day. If it would have been an 8-2 game, 9-2 game, and you're like, hey, like Alvarez is literally like, hey, we need to get guys innings. That's one thing. But the game was still in reach. It was very much a needed to win game. And it felt like they were just in a, hey, we need to get guys reps instead of, hey, we're matching up. We're trying to win this ball game. And then suddenly at the end, it got to that point where they tie it and you're looking around. You're like, okay, so Rico's gone. Kittredge is gone. Helsley's got to pitch the 9th. And now you have Keegan Aiken pitching the 10th inning. He did great for the situation. He got what he should have. But that's not a situation that you want to be in. Like that is what's with Suarez. Did they have anyone else? I talked about this last night. Like, was Keegan Aiken going out there for the rest of extra innings?
Well, I mean, and again, this is the part of to close it out. One of the top priorities for a manager is how you manage your bullpen. And also then how do you keep your bullpen healthy? So I don't blame Albie for wanting to keep the bullpen active, but this is the game that you play when once you pull a starter, you're hoping everything goes according to plan, because if it doesn't, you're burning through a lot more than you anticipated. And that's why starters get paid the big bucks. That's why guys that eat innings get paid as much as they do, because that value helps save the bullpen as you go on during the season. So in this case, right there, one thing goes wrong, and then you look up and you have 3 or 4 more arms that are entering the game, and you sit back and go, was it necessary? Well, still had a guy, a young pitcher that feels good, only throwing 66. Yeah, maybe letting him run for 1 more inning and see what he got, and then we can go from there. But we can go on and on about that. As much as people in Baltimore I know are mad with that situation, we'll get to it later, because if you think defense was bad in the Orioles game and all of that, you should go watch the Mets. That will make you feel better, because the Mets had 6 errors in the infield alone, and Dansby Swanson on the Cubs in one weekend against the Mets went from 31 RBIs to 46. That's insane. That means he got a lot of opportunities because they were giving a lot of opportunities. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're live Monday through Friday right here on YouTube, X, and Facebook, but we're on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast, because we know you are on the move, and sometimes you got to listen on the road, on the car. So give us a follow there. Leave us a review. We appreciate that. And check out all the social media handles at Ryan Ripken Show for more information on what we got going on, because we are doing stuff within the show and outside of the show. Zach, where are we bopping to next here?
I think we got to talk about the biggest news of the day. Kind of came in a little late, but I mean, Major League Baseball made a new CBA proposal, and well, this one is interesting. Interesting to say the least. Let's get this one off. Boom. So, breaking in its next CBA, the league is proposing a max contract length of 5 years for free agent players switching teams, 6 years to retain their own players, no deferred contracts, qualifying offers gone too. Also 5 years to free agency for players 30 or older. Jeff Passan then added on that free agents would be limited to 5 years, $202 million contract. That is 15% of the proposed cap and would rise over the years. For context, Juan Soto's New York Mets contract was for 3 times the years and 3.8 times the money.
Woo! So that's big old news right there.
Yeah.
And this is on the heels of the whole MLB draft proposal a few days ago.
Yeah.
The MLBPA already responded to that, and we'll get to it in a second. But right now, you could guess the players aren't going to like this, but essentially, they want to have a little bit more control in the craziness of deals. And, you know, there are going to be the outliers. Juan Soto's the outlier for how early he got to the bigs. And then obviously he has the largest contract in the history of the game and the years that are involved with it. But I mean, Zach, they're banking on this move is banked on that they expect the salary cap. You're not doing this without a salary cap. Which that's what they want. I think there's going to have to be so many more layers. I guess I should just say what the MLBPA response was.
Yeah, I got it up right here.
You got it up right now?
Yeah, let me
So right here, Jesse Rogers, the tweet, but MLBPA's response to today's proposal after making a series of proposals to reduce player compensation by billions of dollars, eliminate fundamental rights with a salary cap, and destroy the amateur entry process. MLB and team owners are now attempting to distract from the true impact their plan would have on baseball. These misleading offers are designed to look like improvements, but are of little or no value given they are expressly conditioned on agreement to the league's cap system, which eliminates the free market and ensures gains for one player only come at the expense of another. The league also introduced a litany of additional restrictions on player rights, limiting salaries, contract length, performance award, and signing bonuses. While MLB claims to be acting in the interest of fans, their proposals thus far are entirely consistent with owners' long-held goals, suppressing player salaries, and maximizing club profits. Owners' attempts to pit players against players are nothing new, but they failed in the past and will fail again now because PA members remain unified. We are committed to achieving a fair deal that protects the rights of all players, promotes competition, and leaves our game better for future generations. Bali, this is probably the first time when I've seen this for this whole thing. Maybe the first one was like, oh, we might, they're working. They get it. This one actually made me feel, all right, this lockout, the CBA situation is only going to get rougher with these proposals. I don't.
Are they even looking at each other's proposals?
It can't be.
There's been nothing like one team. It's one side. I feel like both of them kind of like had like months ago. They're like, okay, proposal 1, proposal 2, proposal 3, proposal 4. We already got it listed out. We're just going to send them out on certain dates. And no one's looking at counter proposals because every time a new proposal gets out, it feels like we've gotten further away. It's like, okay, one side's like, hey, we need a salary cap. The other side's like, we don't need a salary cap. One side's like, the next proposal, hey, we think that guys in the minor leagues deserve more money. They are doing just as much. They are putting in the work. They deserve a fair wage. Then the owner's proposal is like, funny, we were thinking less minor leaguers. That was actually, we were thinking, why have them? It's like, okay, that's a little different. That's like, okay, we want to do this. We want players to be fairly compensated. And we want, when they get to free agency, we want it to be earlier because we think the arbitration process is unfair. And we want players who have been in the league for a certain amount of years to get their right to free agency. Then the owners were like, what if we have not only a salary cap, but you can only sign for so long? And even though there's a cap and you should really be able to negotiate anywhere in that cap, what if there is a max contract that you could ever get in that cap? How fun would that be? And I just put the tweet out. Maybe we play ball in 2030. Maybe we play ball in 2030. It just feels like each proposal, we are getting further and further from each other.
I'm going to be an optimist. I'm going to believe that cooler heads will prevail, but this is why when people have worried in the past of the worst outcome is because these are drastic changes that the game has not seen so far. You know, Zach, I got drafted in 2014 and 2012. Those times it was 40 rounds that were in the MLB draft. 40 rounds. They had the extra level of minor leagues. We also, the average salary in the minor leagues at that time was $5,000 to $13,000. Now, flash forward on that side, there's less teams. They cut the draft to 20 rounds, and they created a higher average pay for minor leaguers as you move up the ranks. That's number one. Then number two, we've seen certain rule changes. We've seen certain things to try to speed up the game, and that's brought back some great parts of it. But then we've also seen the conversations about competitive balance, and people have different definitions of competitive balance, where half the league in Major League Baseball doesn't spend over $150 million. But the other part is the teams that are under that are teams like the Rays, who have had the third or fourth most wins over the last 15 to 16 years. And then you have obviously the Dodgers that are on the other side that, yeah, they've won the World Series the last two. And before COVID, it had been a long time since the Dodgers actually won a World Series, even though they were spending more money. Now, obviously, there's parts of the system that need to be fixed, Zach. But overall, both sides are going to have to get to a certain point where they're comfortable and they can make something happen. Neither is going to like exactly what the other one wants. No. But at what point does this become too much? And that to me is where we are at right now. Team payroll.
Can I say now? What? Can I say now's the point where we're asking for too much?
Yeah. So right now, Bali, it's just over half the teams that are spending over $150 million. But the teams below there, you're looking at the Pirates, the Twins, the A's, the Nats, the White Sox, the Marlins. The Guardians have the lowest payroll at 79 at this moment, but the Guardians are tied for first. The White Sox are tied for first. The Nationals have a winning record. The Rays are the Rays, and the Brew Crew are 20 games over 500. So when you're looking at a competitive balance part, it's not always specifically about the money when it comes to teams, and that's where owners will go to. If you have the right structure in place, you can win not having to pay the ridiculous amounts. Now, having said that, though, I think teams that have won have spent in the top 10 in payroll over the years. So, yeah, there is a correlation between the two, but everyone has to be on board, and not everyone has been on board in this process. And the MLBPA is unlike any other association in professional sports. It truly is. And if they relinquish some of that power, then that will weaken it as it goes. And they understand that. MLB owners understand it. But here's where we're at. And the last thing you possibly want, can't stress it enough. If you let this spiral, damn, dude, they were worried about it ruining baseball back in 94. Mm-hmm. And then they said something in 95 helped bring baseball back. I don't know what that could have been here, but could have been something. I don't know what those moments are going to be. And above all, people just want to see the the boys go out and play ball. That's what we want. So time will tell. That's the bombshell, at least on this side. That's the drama there. Any final thoughts? Or you want to talk about drama in LA?
Yeah, final thought, just someone get it done. That's the thing. And I just saw something under what the proposed maximum contract, 27 current players are on contracts that would be ineligible. So it's like, this is so far from over, because then you have to deal with, what do we do with that? Like, that's the thing with the salary cap and everything. Like, we can agree. We also got to agree on what's going on with the players that have already signed, because they had every right to sign that. That's why they like can't just be like, well, now these guys are done. It feels like we are heading towards not a fun time, but just got to hope, like you said, cooler heads prevail and we play ball at some point in 2027.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. I'm an optimist. It's going to happen. And before we get into some other drama, why don't we take a quick reset for a second? Take a deep breath. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. And from one stream, Zach, to another.
Damn it.
Oh, that's not it.
Yeah, that is not it.
Oh, that's it, though. Where's that handsome fellow? Damn. Looking good, Ryan. Looking good. But, hey, our friends over at AutoStream Car Care Center, they have 11 locations and counting. They got the double play promotion that ends at the end of June. That's 2 oil changes for the price of 1. 2 for $99.99, and this is how it works. All you got to do is go into these AutoStream locations, any of those, and say, hey, I'd like the double play promotion, or Ryan Ripken show. I saw it on the show, the podcast, the platform, and whammy. That 2-for-1 special is yours. So that ends at the end of the month. And also on AutoStream and with Ryan Ripken, follow us on the social platforms at AutoStream Car Care Center and at Ryan Ripken Show, because on Instagram, we're giving away 2 tickets to a future Orioles game, but make sure you're following to figure out how you can enter in the future for an opportunity to head down to Camden Yards later this summer. So from that stream, back to another. Hey, Zach, I did see, because since of our karaoke talk the other day, since we were having it, I saw Cameron put some comments in there, went through his history from the last 4 years of karaoke shows in Virginia. The top 5 karaoke songs sung. Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
I that's a popular one. That's not my choice, but I know who would sing it.
Yeah.
Tennessee Whiskey, that's a good sing-along, slow it down. Are we talking Creep? Like, it's not, it can't be TLC, because that'd be Creep.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Right? It's got to be Radiohead?
Yeah.
Hey, Nate, you can unmute Sam for a second.
Sam's unmuted.
Oh, you're unmuted?
Going.
Turn or pull the mic up to you.
Yeah, I got you.
There we go.
Yeah,
so
no,
it's got to be Radiohead.
Radiohead.
Right?
Is there more on the list?
Yeah, there's more on the list.
All right. I'm waiting for one.
Dixieland Delight.
Ooh.
I don't think anyone's getting on stage and singing that. But
I would totally do that. Dixieland Delight?
Dixieland Delight?
Yes, I would totally do that.
Nate, how did you get out of frame again?
Yeah, Nate,
I have no idea. Hold on, I'll keep it on Sam.
Over?
Yeah.
Move the chair over, Nate. Now let's see.
All right.
That was it.
It's like popping out of the side.
Dude, I know. I was sitting in the corner, but listen, I would do Dixieland Delight on anywhere.
Could you do like a little bit now?
Not right now, but I'd do it another time.
All right.
Fifth on the list is This Is How We Do It.
Yeah.
This is how we do it.
I don't know.
What was this
This was like what was heard in VA. You don't like that, Bolly?
I don't like the last one. This Is How We Do It. I don't agree that that's a good karaoke song.
Do you not like the song in general?
No. I think fantastic. I'm trying to, but like I go off of, like, I think Dixieland Delight is great because of people, like, how can the crowd sing along with you? Like, you gotta get something that.
I agree. Dixieland Delight would get people to sing along.
Tennessee Whiskey gets people to sing along. Before He Cheats gets people to sing along. Like,
well, and also with Tennessee Whiskey, when the guitar starts, the dun 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 dun, then it's everyone's like, like you have those screams.
Exactly.
You might cheers, and then everyone's belting out, even if you're off. You will get ready for, because you're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey.
It's
like
your
that,
as sweet. Ryan.
as sweet. Sorry. See,
Oh, he's
you
got
can
the
mess
lyrics
it
on the
up.
screen.
You can mess it up, and it's fine. That's my point. People are still going to sing it.
No, it is smooth. It's
I was-
No,
Yeah, it is
no,
sweet.
it's
Whiskey.
sweet.
I was
Your
more looking
sweet
for,
as
like,
strawberry
Oasis.
wine.
Oh, wait. It
Wait,
is.
you're telling me
It's
coming from the guy
It's
that
your
doesn't know
sweet as
Phil
strawberry
Collins. We're going to
wine.
have this
Yo,
conversation.
Sam, how many Phil Collins songs do you know?
What?
How many-
Off the top of my head, In the Air Tonight. And then,
Dude, see, everyone only knows that song. Besides
I could
Ryan.
definitely obviously I know more, but like I'd have to look.
Bolly, see, what have you done here? We're having like
Failing the
it's
future generation.
Also, I'm getting a text from Molly. Don't Stop Believing. Fantastic one.
That's a great one.
I think
That's
that's
a
a
great
staple
one.
one you can. That's also a wedding song that people go back and forth on that they want to hear at a wedding or not.
I feel like for karaoke, Don't Stop Believing is a fantastic choice.
Oh no, for karaoke.
I did that on
1000%.
my birthday. Don't stop believing.
For karaoke or just you just played
Karaoke.
that
For
song?
karaoke. For karaoke.
just to do it.
No, I just played it.
So are you just a city boy?
Yeah, living in a lonely world.
Hey.
That's not where it is. Just a city boy, born and raised.
South
South-
Detroit.
There
you
we
go.
go. But
Yeah.
Bolly, I'm sorry. Even though you and Kevin have your issues with this, I do have the kids, mainly Nate. We're working on it. He's doing better though with his songs.
I think I am.
You know what did pop on because I think your phone always listens. The Tarzan soundtrack was playing, Zach, the other day. So,
Yeah.
Sam, are you aware that Phil Collins? They said make the Tarzan soundtrack or make songs for the movie, and then it's just straight fire.
Really?
Yeah,
I cannot remember the last time I watched Tarzan, like the animated one.
the animated
Disney
one, and the whole album is Phil Collins.
Oh. I was not paying attention to that whatsoever.
You'll be in my heart, Bolly, no matter what they say.
Tarzan.
You don't know that one, do you?
In my-
Oh, you do.
Yeah, I was gonna say I am a Tarzan. Phil Collins is one of the greatest animated movie soundtracks of all time.
You know what we're going to need to do next time? We're going to need to actually go over some of our favorite movie soundtracks of all time. I think that would be good. The problem is, Zach, you've
Shrek.
seen maybe 6 movies.
No, I've gotten better. I've gotten better.
Okay, we'll work on that. Well, hey, that eased the tension. You know, that felt good. Maybe that's what the Dodgers need out there, Bolly. They need to ease the tension a little bit. You know,
They need something. They need.
so
Yeah.
Let's get into this. So there was some drama out with the other LA team, and it was between the best player in the world, Shohei Ohtani, and his catcher, Dalton Rushing.
Rookie
So,
catcher.
What?
Rookie catcher, because that does matter in this.
So there's a lot to break down with this. We'll start with this. The initial situation happened was Shohei wasn't happy that Dalton Rushing wasn't challenging a pitch.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so Shohei challenged on the mound, and Dalton Rushing had a response of saying, like, no. And then you could tell he was frustrated that Shohei did it. Like, no, dude, it's a ball. But you know what? They showed it up all there on the scoreboard. What was it? Strike. And that's not where it ended, Bolly. Where do we want to go next with it? Was this on was it the wild pitch that was next that after that and Rushing was pissed off?
Yeah, so pretty much it starts off. There was a pitch before the challenge that Shohei looked into Rushing and was kind of like, why aren't we challenging that? Rushing is like, that's a ball. We're not challenging that. On the broadcast, they show, oh, Shohei was right. It would have been a strike. Few pitches later, this happened. Shohei's fed up. He's like, I'll challenge it myself. Like you said, Rushing is visibly upset with him and is like, oh, greatest player in the world wants to challenge this. Like, you're going to be wrong. I'm right. Well, like you said, it's called a strike. We then had, I'll bring this up for a moment. We had a very awkward kind of in between mound visits where Shohei doesn't show emotions and frustrations a lot, but you can tell that he was not happy with this. Later on, we'll get into their post game kind of about more frustrations. But later on in the game, Shohei Ohtani, there's a guy on third base. He throws actually the hardest pitch of his career. Fastball at 101.7, a little inside. And Dalton Rushing misses it. Just flat out misses the baseball, goes to the backstop, goes out of play. Runner comes in to score. And Dalton Rushing gives this look to Shohei as like, how dare you? Of like, what? This is not my fault. This is your fault. Well, cut to in between innings, Dave Roberts is pulling Rushing aside. Freddie Freeman is pulling Rushing aside. At one point, there's a video of Dalton Rushing with his head down, just slamming his hands into his head in frustration. They had their mental coach go over and talk to Dalton Rushing. And thankfully for the Dodgers, well, Shohei Ohtani's pretty damn good at what he does. He was able to go out there and get the job done for them. He locked it in. He did. I mean, he does what Shohei Ohtani does. They go out and they get the win. But it didn't feel right. And people have brought it up, the differences. I mean, with Shohei Ohtani, when you're looking at the statistics, when Will Smith is his catcher, they've had 10 games together. He has had 5 earned runs in those 10 games for a 0.74 ERA. With Dalton Rushing as his catcher, 3 games, 9 earned runs, a 4.34 ERA. Something is not connecting. Shohei, we can get into his response first. Let's go Rushing first, because Shohei, let's just say Shohei he said the right words, but you could tell what he really thought. Let's get into, we want to go with Rushing's post-game first about his frustrations and all that.
Yeah, let's hear what Rushing had to say. Dalton, how'd you feel with the whole situation? Didn't look good, didn't feel good. How are you feeling after the game?
I know it was a frustrating second inning. When you look at how just you as well as Shohei were able to reset and get back on track, how would you just describe handling that for yourself personally?
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. I didn't do a great job. Start to finish. It was pretty embarrassing. Thankfully, he's as good as he is, and he could take control of a game. Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing.
You have so much support, though. I mean, to have the conversations, whether I saw Freddie come up to you, Dave Roberts. I mean, I know that, as you said, today may have felt embarrassing, but to have their support in that conversation, what does that just mean to you?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, they always have my back. Once again, it's embarrassing that I need support like that. I'm a grown man. Yeah, it's a pretty tough pill to swallow. Both sides of the ball. It was not a great showing, and hasn't been great as of late, and I'm going to be better.
So I will say this. He said a lot of the right things. He took accountability, said it was embarrassing. I'm upset with myself. They do have a great veteran core there, so they can go there and talk to him, pull him aside and say, hey, we got to do things better. And also the guy on the mound's pretty damn good. He's the best player in the world. He rarely shows emotion. So if you get him kind of pissed off in that setting, I mean, of showing emotion, then you know something ain't right. And I think for Dalton Rushing, it's just there's been a lot of videos. It's the social media nowadays. So people are looking at previous times, Zach, of how he reacts and what he does. And all eyes on that microscope are on him. But I thought he gave good responses after. It's just what's going to be the next step? Like that's what we're going to have to see.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Dalton Rushing, like you said, this isn't the first time this year that he has been in the news because of some controversial things. Remember, this is the guy who said that he thinks the Colorado Rockies were cheating against them because they were hitting so well. He insinuated, he said, I don't know what they knew, what they had, what was going on, but it was a little fishy how well they were hitting against us. A lot of teams that you could probably call out for cheating. Don't know if the Rockies. he's gotten into it with other team before. He's gotten into fights that way. He's had embarrassing moments already. I mean, there are all these now videos. Chris Rose does the get to know teammates thing, and he asks guys about who do they not want to sit next to on the plane, and both immediately responded Dalton Rushing. There are not a lot of great looks out there for this young kid. The only great looks were when he had this first 20 at bats. He hit like 6 home runs. I mean, on the field, the bat has been there at the beginning, but like you said, it feels like this is not new to him. I've seen some people say, yeah, at the end of the day, you would rather reel someone in than have to rile them up, when you talk about playing with emotion. Yep. And I will call, because I want to be fair to Dalton as well. I understand why the pitch that Shohei then challenged himself, it's the second inning. It's a 1-1 count. Dalton's probably like, hey, dude, this is not worth challenging. Like, this is not worth blowing a challenge. If you go 5 innings, I'm the one who doesn't have a challenge now. Like, I got to have these all game. I understand that aspect. But you can tell they're not on the same page. You can just, like I brought up before, I mean, the ERA difference is unbelievable between when Shohei is pitching to Will Smith versus Dalton Rushing. And Shohei kind of talked a little bit about the frustration. So let's listen to that, and then we can talk about it a little bit more.
Through the hitters, pregame meetings, before the game, it's something that, we always do. And it's something that it's more of the in-game sort of flexibility, just reading the swings, reading how the hitters really taking their approach during the game that I see where, where the adjustment needs to happen. And in that sense, I think we just, I personally realized, we just have to be on a better, on the same page and communicate throughout the game.
What happened stuff on the pass ball? Like, what was that a cross out there, or what happened on the pass ball?
では何が起きたんですかと、何かサインミスとかそういうことですか？
そうですね。変化球とまっすぐ、どっちも出たんですけど、僕は最後の球種をチョイスというかだろうなとは思ったんですけど、ラッシング的にはその動き始めたのが1球目だったので、最初のオフスピードのサインが来ると思ってたっていう。そういう感じだったかなと思います。
Yeah, there were 2 pitches were called. First one was off speed. The second pitch was fastball. To Rush. Rush thought that he was getting an off speed because I started moving after the first pitch was called. But what I had in mind was the second pitch, which was the last pitch, which was the fastball.
So, I mean, look, I don't want to. It's over with. This shit happens. Shohei knows what he wants to do. Shohei is one of the best in the world. He is the best in the world, player overall. But if you're the hard thing with a young, I shouldn't say young, because I mean Dalton's 25, but a rookie catcher is that can sometimes be intimidating as well in the situation. And even though you are taught as a catcher, you want to command things. You're the one that has to call the game. Also trust who's the guy on the mound, that he might know exactly what he wants to do when he wants to do it. And that takes time. And clearly they haven't had enough time together, Zach, on the mound to get comfortable, and numbers reflect that. But this is what you continue to learn from. And to close it out for Rushing, again, brutal sequence on what happened on the field, but I do think he handled it the best he could after it. You take accountability, you do that, because you know what? People go, all right, man, hey, good for you. Now go and be better the next time. And then you move on. So sports.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, it definitely helps when the guy that you're trying to get on the same page as is Shohei Ohtani, who, if you really just let him do his thing, he's gonna get you out of it.
Yes, he will. He'll get you out of it. The Dodgers are a well-oiled machine from top to bottom. They have talent. They have a great minor league system with how they get guys up there. They get their manager, Dave Roberts, which I think he is very underrated. You know, it takes a lot to try to manage all that. And then just their entire front office has been top-notch. So I don't think anytime soon that group is going to be in trouble, Zach, and be looking for a job. I don't think that's going to be the case. But apparently some others might. And we'll explain that article here in a second. But we appreciate you, Zach, and we appreciate
CQ.
our friends at CQ. Another reminder, don't let the summer bring you down with these gas prices. We get it, they're high, but it doesn't have to derail your summer plans if you're traveling. So you can use select CQ Visa credit cards to save up to 50 cents off per gallon on your next tank of gas. That's up to 20 gallons, by the way. Just redeem your You Choose rewards points directly when paying at the pump at participating gas stations. See full details at cqmd.org/credit cards. Terms and conditions apply, and you're subject to credit approval. But CQ, trying to help the people and help you have a great summer. And CQ is a proud sponsor of the Ryan Ripken Show. Zach, we're halfway through the season, so we're going to have pieces on who could be in trouble of not having a job moving forward. And a lot of this can be speculation. Some of it could have some merit to it. Ken Rosenthal at The Athletic put out an article today about a list of GMs that could be involved in this. And I mean, maybe the obvious ones when we're looking at disappointing starts, the Red Sox and Craig Breslow has been on that list. Who else did we have on it with the Pirates, Zach?
Pirates. You had David Stearns of the Mets. Had AJ Preller of the Padres. Was on there as well. Who else am I missing? David Stern of the Mets, Buster Posey of the Giants, Dana Brown of the Astros, Perry Manancian of the Angels, Ben Cherington of the Pirates, and AJ Preller of the Padres.
And then there was one other name then that we haven't mentioned that Ken talked about. And in the area, it's probably been the most talked about situation is Mike Elias. And so Ken had the article, and do we have the article of that or pieces of it?
We have for Elias, we know.
So we do?
Yeah.
All right, let's pull that up real quick. So as you can see right here in the article, and you should go check it out for Ken Rosenthal and The Athletic there. But last November, confirming Elias's promotion to president of baseball operations, owner David Rubenstein said, he's done a spectacular job and we have great confidence in him for many, many years to come. And Ken followed up saying it doesn't sound like an owner who 8 months later might be pondering a change, but when a team is losing, happy talk from ownership will be tolerated for only so long. Ken talks about him firing Brandon Hyde, Mike Elias last year, finishing 75 and 87. Currently where they're at, they're 38 and 44 on a pace to win 76 games this year. And they've talked, and they had the previous article about fundamentals within the organization. And would a second straight losing season test the patience of not only the fans, but of this promised liftoff and not having sustained success over that time period? And then it looks at, well, this deadline could be very telling. If the Orioles are a lot more aggressive and it works out in their favor, does that save things? Or if the Orioles stand pat with what's happened in the past, does that put the team right where they've been so far? And that is not where they want to be, and that is chasing down a World Series title. So it goes on to say about, obviously, bolstered with Ryan Helsley, Pete Alonso this offseason. You traded for Shane Baz. But again, it goes down to success. So I think we need to talk about it because I'm still in the camp of whether or not this is me just, in my opinion, what I think are the facts of this. Maybe facts is the wrong word. Just what I think will happen, Zach.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything that has Elias on that hot seat, so to speak, at this moment in time. Now, when you lose and you continue to lose, that creates problems. And when problems arise, people lose their jobs. Just like going into this year, no one thought that Craig Breslow and the Red Sox would be where they are after having the season that they had last year, making the postseason. And yet here we are. They fired their manager, and now eyes and pressure are on Craig Breslow. With the Orioles and Mike Elias, yeah, you looked at last year, there were a lot of issues, and you felt like you were rewriting the script of what things could be. But it's because right now, here we are. Their record is what it is. They're 6 games under 500. If things were to get a lot worse, I think that would maybe draw a different answer. But right now, Zach, I think that's too aggressive a thought process. But we understand why. It's for fans. 2023 and the first half of 2024 almost feel like it didn't exist because this is that sustained success. When you saw that, the expectation rose, and each year the expectation has dropped again. But on top of this, the bigger part here is I don't think we're having any of these conversations, Zach, if the Orioles just win a playoff series.
Yeah.
Imagine if you said in 23 they lost in the ALCS or they won that series against the Royals and lost moving on. I think it's a different mindset of going, all right, the Birds got to figure this out. But instead, they don't have enough of that track record success. And now they're saying, well, Mike Elias has been here for 8 years. What is our standard? And I think that's where the article here is alluding to of how bad does it have to get for things to change and what is the trajectory in what has been a murky last 2 years.
Yeah, and for Elias, there's no one left. It's like that whole thing where a GM can get away with things for a little bit. They're always going to have a longer leash, and usually there's a fall guy. Brandon Hyde was the fall guy. It was the Orioles needed to make a move because the season was so disappointing. Ryan, I remember in mid-late June 2024, I sat in the upper deck of Camden Yards for the Orioles versus Phillies game. And everybody in baseball said, this is the World Series preview. And it was 3 of the best baseball games you ever saw, all capped off with the Orioles absolutely beating the crap out of Zach Wheeler, who is one of the best pitchers in baseball. And you left that series going, damn, this is what it's about. And then the next series, you had the Yankees come into town, and you whooped their ass. And everyone said that is the team to beat in the American League. And since they hopped on that plane and headed to Chicago, since they went to Wrigley, they have been one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball to date. It's one of those things where it happened so fast, it's almost you don't think it's real. And so they had to switch something up. Brandon Hyde was the guy. It was the easiest way to go. You get Hyde out, you see if, hey, maybe a new coaching staff, a new voice. Let's see if this can get it going. So far, you're getting a lot of the same. So now you have to start looking, okay, who's next? Well, you don't want to fire Albernaz after 1 year. You don't want to go, okay, that sucked. You're out of here. Let's try to find another guy. At some point, the sad truth about sports, especially for an executive, especially for a manager, 99 times out of 100, you are being hired to be fired. There are very few who get to walk out on their own terms. Ozzie Newsome's don't just grow on trees where you get the, hey, 5 years prior inside the organization, he said, hey, I got 5 more years. They said, okay, Eric DeCosta's he's coming next. We're just going to go from here. You get to ride off into the sunset. Everyone loves you. You're one of the greatest of all time. That's not how it works. That's unfortunately not how it works. So the next logical step is if they once again fail, all eyes are going to be on Elias. He's the only guy left that from the beginning of the rebuild in 2019 to right now is the same. So that's why he's getting the heat. Do I think, and I've said this before, do I think he did enough this offseason? No, I would have liked one more top-of-the-line starter. am I going to sit here and pretend like I didn't really love the offseason the Orioles had? Like, I didn't think that they went out and added Pete Alonso to be in the middle of this order. Like, they didn't go get their closer. I think Shane Boz's upside is unbelievable. I really liked Chris Bassett signing as depth. You get Zach Eflin back. Go out, you make a trade for Taylor Ward, who has been great. Leody Taveras, no one thought this guy was even going to make the team. People joked, why are we making this signing? And then he's been now your everyday outfielder. It's been guys like Gunnar who haven't produced. Unfortunately, your core with Westberg, he's injured. Best abilities, availability, so you don't have that. It's been the core that has been kind of holding them back a little bit. So do I want to sit here and go, this is all Mike Elias's fault? No, I think for Mike Elias did a pretty good job filling some holes. Would we have loved the top-end guy? Yeah, but the only guy that was left out there at the end of the day was Zach Gallen, and he has the highest ERA of any qualified starter right now. So is it all completely fair? No, but that's life as a GM. It's life as an executive. At the end of the day, even though maybe your core players, the Gunners that are underproducing, the Cowsers for the first half, even those guys are the ones that really feel like they're the guys holding you back. Jackson getting injured, Westberg being out, and you're like, I can't control that. You can't. But that's what sports are. Somebody has to be held accountable. So it's easiest right now if you're going to make a change in Baltimore, if they have another disappointing year, the change can't be Alvarez. It's got to be higher than that if they are going to make a change. I don't know if they make a change because I really don't know where this Orioles team operates. I'd like to think I have a read on them, and then they do something that I'm like, okay, don't have a read. So who knows what happens, but if there's going to be a change, naturally it's got to come, it feels like, at the guy who's been here for the longest.
I mean, there's an accountability phase for each one. The players are going to say, we got to play better. Coaches are going to say, we got to put ourselves in a better position. But then above all, the people that are in position are the ones that everyone's going to look at because you're the architect of this whole situation. And again, Bali, when you look at other teams, I mentioned the Dodgers, you can love the star power, but what are things that they have? They have strong veteran presence and leadership that they've had for a long time. Dave Roberts has been a staple there for a long time now as well. Their minor league system for their players and what they do is tremendous. It's tremendous. So I think what happened here is when you try to figure out what your identity is, for 23 and half of 24, you felt like you found it, but it was more just a phase because once adversity hit, you realize then that there were issues. And what I mean by that, when I've talked in the past about having your fundamentals down or you know what you need to do, when things go wrong, that's what you fall back on when shit gets tough. But the problem was you had a lot of guys that were battling injury or trying to figure out how to be big leaguers. And then the little things while they're going through those struggles that could help maybe build up their confidence again because they know where they got to make plays, it wasn't emphasized enough. So then you ask the question, what team are we? What's our identity? Well, that's been the question for the last year and a half, 2 years. And that falls somewhere. And part of that is you look at up top, and that's why you're hearing about these conversations of how they're trying to make changes is because the Orioles have not had that. You can go back to the mid-2010s, and you could look at the Orioles teams. What did they have? Strong veteran presence, guys that knew what they needed to do, a manager that had been around for a while, but there was an identity to their group that helped make them to where they want to go. I think right now it's a combination. There's some really good veterans in that lineup and in that clubhouse, but there's a lot of guys that are still fighting themselves. And then they're also trying to figure out, how do I stay out of my head? And above all, how do I just have things be on autopilot that I go out there and perform? Because here's the other part, Zach, that players that at least what I'm seeing as being a guy, and I think Pete Alonso said this after the game, we got to get out of our heads is the paraphrase. You know, we got to get out of our head because as an athlete, that's the last place you can be is in your head. And for the Orioles, when you look at that, I go, this 2026 team is more talented than the 25 team. I think they're more talented than the 23 team. The 24 team was pretty damn good. That team had so much potential.
Yeah.
But the difference is people don't look at potential. They look at your results. And right now the results are the Orioles are below average baseball team. They're in the hunt. They're right there. But what's holding them back is making the plays that they have to get where they want to go. And at some point, you're either going to break it or it's going to break you. And at this point, they're still stuck. We don't know which way they're going to go. But if things continue to go worse, we do know what that leads to. And the fan base, it's a loyal fan base. They love this team. Almost, it's a painful love, Zach. Like, you're probably a great example of that. Like, I know it eats at your core. And I think that's where people want to find blame. But at the end of the day, it's a combination. But I will say this. The Orioles finished with 76 wins this year after everything that's happened. And there wasn't any catastrophic injuries, which there haven't been. Knock on wood. I know missing Eflin. Every team has injuries. Then there's going to have to be a long look in the mirror on what the hell are we going to be moving forward? Yeah. And that's going to come with time, but that's not an answer you're going to have right now. We got 80 games left to go to figure out what the hell this Baltimore Orioles team is going to be. And hopefully it's a team that's actually making that trajectory so we don't have to play this what-if game come the end of September.
Yeah. I want to add in something right here. I think a big thing is the next man up mentality. I mean, as you were saying, you're going to have those injuries. You're going to get people hurt. But like the guy, I mean, you had Tavares stepping up, a guy who was supposed to be a utility player coming into a starting role, playing every game, hitting one of the best players hitting on the team. You got Jeremiah Jackson coming in for Jackson Holiday, stepping up and becoming a big player on the team. These guys are hitting better than, say, Gunnar, Adley, Pete. I mean, when those superstars don't do what you need them to do, it's the next man up mentality. But like, they just got to hold their ground. And once Gunnar and them find what they need to do, the veteran presence comes back. Pete Alonso steps up, guides the team, Adley, Gunnar. Once they step up and really take a lead of the team and start performing how they should, how they always do, I could see us making a run for the end of the season. I'd love to see a playoff run. But as things are right now, with them just in their heads, taking injuries and making the wrong plays, obviously management is a little bit of the thing. But honestly, I think the main players just need to step up. And when they don't, other players need to step in their place and take a charge.
Yeah, I think with that, maybe this is how it wraps in, Bali. No one cares. I've said this before. No one cares if you're hurt. No one cares what your situation is because teams all have injuries. I mean, hell, Bali, the Yankees don't have Judge. They didn't have Garrett Cole earlier this year. They're playing. They're the best team in the American League. The other part, though, I think that to Sam is, and I'm with you, you got to show up, you got to play. The one thing that I think that people are trying to put together is it isn't that they haven't come out and actually had performances to win. It's moments that they've had where they earn the right to win, but they also then earn the right to lose because they didn't do the little things that they had to get done. Bali, is that a fair assessment?
Without it, yes.
Yeah. So, man, let's just hope we don't have this discussion come September. Let's hope we're having a discussion about the yard is packed, it's buzzing, Bali's drinking crushes down at Pickles, and the Orioles are getting back to showing people that magic and trying to be back to that team that all those vibes were great from just a couple of years ago. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're live Monday through Friday right here on YouTube, X, and Facebook. Bali, that was the last big one. We got some news and notes on the way out.
Yeah, news and notes. I think let's start with Vitello. Listen, I love a manager who can make light of a situation. For those of you who don't remember, last week we had the whole Rafael Devers drama where, well, Devers is refusing to go get a pinch runner. Pinch runner's coming out to Devers. He's the tying run on first. Devers is going, no, stay. He's shooing off the runner. Becomes a big thing. Devers then, not the best media PR stuff, but, calls out the media, all that becomes a big thing. Well, yesterday in the ninth inning, Rafael Devers hit a game-tying home run, and everything's good. Giants win. People are happy. Vitello gets asked about it after the game, and Ryan, we'll listen to this. Personally, I think this is hilarious.
Complimented some of the other coaches. Probably, I'd be remiss if I didn't say the best coaching moment of the night was we told Rafi if he got on first, we were going to pinch run for him, and that was that at-bat in the ninth. So you gave a courtesy laugh right there to that.
I'm going to say, I want the names of every reporter in that place that did not laugh. I'm sorry. Why are we taking this? That was hilarious.
That was great.
That was fantastic. And the dead silence, what are we doing?
Seriously, I mean, it's been one of the most talked about. This has been one of the most talked about stories recently about the whole Devers situation. Tony Vitello is funny, dude. He did the same thing when they were doing the pumps.
Yeah.
He brought it. He talked about it again in the manner, and you're looking at it. I'm like, oh, this guy's funny. And other people are like, either I don't get it or I don't want to laugh. I don't know what it is, but let's try to relax a little bit. I mean, good things get worse down in San Francisco. Maybe. But things are struggling. It's just trying to break the ice. That was a good joke. I'd give that a solid 9 out of 10. I was a big fan of that. Good creativity, good execution, deserved a better result.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I hate that. Next up, we got David Peterson traded from the Mets to the Cubs after the disastrous game doubleheader versus the Cubs yesterday. Cubs needed pitching so bad with the amount of injuries that they're dealing with. And it seems like, I believe, was David Peterson the longest tenured Met still on the team?
Maybe.
I would like to say since 2020, I want to say he is. So what year did Lindor get traded there?
I really want to go and find my career stats versus David Peterson in the minors. I faced him for 1 year. I faced him quite a bit. It felt like we saw them. I'm like, oh, here we go again. I actually didn't mind facing David. Now the results probably didn't turn out well for me, but I didn't mind it.
Even lefty?
Oh, lefty, baby. Yeah. Yeah, I faced him I came out of Oregon. I faced him in Columbia. He had a 1.82. Yeah, damn, I guess he was shoving. 1.82 ERA. I got to go find those games. There's 5. He pitched in 9 there. 46 hits. I know I had at least one of them in there. I might have had a couple. Throw that in there, Zach.
So you found his
No, I need to find his box score from that year. I really do. I don't know how we do that, but we're gonna figure that out eventually because we battled out there.
I was gonna say I'll do some research. I'll see what
I don't know if you can find at Brian Ripken at bats versus David Peterson. We could save that for a different show and tell with this, but that Mets, I mentioned it earlier. The Mets 6 errors in that game. And honestly, for David Peterson, it's tough to leave anywhere, but also you got to be sitting there going, oh, well, I'm out of here. And this might not be a bad time to get out of here, where the Mets have continued to. Yeah, if you think the Orioles have found different ways to lose, the Mets just. I don't even know what it is. I don't think Steve Cohen, the owner's even tweeted in like 3 months. That's when you know.
Yeah, that is when I hate that. That's how you know, but that unfortunately.
He hasn't tweeted since April 23rd. That's when you know.
All right, what year did you face him?
2018. Where are you looking at this, by the way?
Oh, I've already found it. I got the game logs. Versus Delmarva?
Yeah.
All right, let's look at May 14th. 0 for 3 1K.
What?
Yeah, not a great one. 0 for 3 1K. All right, hold up. We'll find more. We'll find more.
That's bull. I had some good at bats against him.
All right, let's see.
I think I had like a 10 pitch. Was there a walk in there?
No. This is the only time it says he played Delmarva that year.
Well, maybe it was, but that's erroneous because I remember I think I lined out, I had a good at bat, and I swore I got a hit off him there. I guess not. I guess I'm just a liar, Zach.
Did you face him in?
No, that
19?
would have been the time. I thought I faced him twice, but I guess I'm just getting old now. Just getting
You didn't
old.
face him in 19 at all?
No. Oh, yes, I did.
I was going to say because this was okay.
I did get I at least had a hit off him. I might have had 2 in that game.
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
Do not tempt. It was 2019 Bowie versus the Binghamton. You guys ready for this? Rumble Ponies. You guys ever been to minor league games before? I mean, here you guys are going.
I've done my fair share at the Ironbirds, and I went to one Keys game.
When I was a kid, I used to go to the Frederick Keys with my family.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys don't know about the Ponies up there in Binghamton.
Nope.
When you guys are old enough, I'll tell you about
Ponies.
I'll tell you about a double-A story. Rye Guy's birthday here in Binghamton.
When you're old enough.
Yeah, when you
When
guys
we're
are
old enough,
you get
we're
past
yeah.
21 where you they hide stuff from you.
No, when they're old enough, Bolly, they'll
Made me
learn.
feel like I'm 16 again.
Once you can rent an Airbnb at 25, then he'll tell us.
Yeah, once you can. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Bolly, the kids are in here. You know, the kids.
Yeah.
Did
Ryan,
you find it?
I found it. 2 for 4. 2 for 4 with a run scored, 1 strikeout though. We did get that K in there.
So
But
I
2
remember
for 4.
that game vividly. We actually put up, I think, like a 9 spot. Does it have the box score in that?
11-4 win.
Does it say what inning the runs were scored?
You guys scored 7 in the 3rd, 3 in the 6th, 1.
Yes, it was the 3rd inning. I led off the inning that got the rally going, and we batted around, and I got rung up on the next at bat, and I was pretty pissed about that one. Yeah, I'll save that for a different. That's a rip after
Eddie and
dark
McKenna
story.
both had nice games too.
Who?
Said he 1 for 5, 3 Ks. Yeah.
Yeah, said he was
Never
going
gonna
through
make
it.
to the pros. Never
He
gonna
was
make
going
to the
through it.
pros.
He's a good kid, though.
Yeah.
All right.
This is what
Enough
people-
about my issues here. Anything else that I'm missing, Zach, besides that our friends at AutoStream have the double play promotion running until the end of June?
No, I think that's it. I think we covered all we wanted to.
Okay.
We found out you went 2 for 4 versus David. You know what? All I'm saying is if somebody needs a David Peterson beater, just your line's
hanging
open.
in the rafters. I think it was a base hit to left too. Stayed on it, fastball away. Wapa. You know what I mean, Nate?
Yeah, I do. I'm sorry, I was yawning when you said that.
Nate's just he's working hard. He's been swimming in the harbor getting ready for his jump when the Orioles
He
trade for
said
Scuba.
Ryan said that if Adley gets traded by the deadline, I gotta jump in the harbor.
Dude,
And I
I
said,
fear that you're going to jump in the harbor.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I mean, good content.
Oh,
It's
no,
good
dude.
content. I'll take it for good content.
Oh, goodness. All right, Bolly, any final words?
No, that's O's can't hurt you tonight.
They can't. Well, what's our odds? Does Nate get this on the first try?
He should.
What?
Cue the music, Nate. Nope.
Nope, he doesn't.
There it is. We thought he was
I was
learning.
so close,
No.
dude. I was so close.
As always, here on the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate each and every one of you. Have a day, have a night, have a great rest of your Thursday. Come back and join us tomorrow. Zach will be flying solo, but I'll be making a guest appearance. Well, why? I'll be calling the game tomorrow, this whole series.
Let's go.
Hey.
Have a day, have a night, guys. Appreciate you. Talk to you soon. Ryan Ripken Show, Monday through Friday. See you guys.